and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. And when you listen, stream, or download straight to your device, CastBox is your best option. Remember, if you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and comment. So let's get started with Steve, Tino, Gia, and John with the news. Enjoy the show.
All right, good morning and good night, ladies and gents. Welcome to the show. However, wherever, whenever you listen to the Body Snatchers podcast, we do appreciate it. Last week, we talked about Full Metal Alchemist live action, available right now on Netflix. If you're a fan of the series, listen to the show and see if the movie's worth 2.5 hours of your time. We are your hosts, Steve here. Tino's going to take the week off, but he is running around Facebook, Insta, and Twitter, all that. So if you do miss him, head that way, say hi. Call him childish names if you want. It's up to you. And you can find him and us at bodysnatcherspodcast.com. That is the website. Like, subscribe, share, comment. You talk, we will listen. Today we're going to talk about Monster Hunter World. And luckily, our she-host put in over 100 hours, Gia?
Yeah, I'm at like 130.
Those are try-hard hours. That's triple digits.
Yeah. I think the last game I put this much time into in this short amount of time was like Final Fantasy X when it first came out on the PlayStation 2 maybe a year ago.
Yeah, me and my buddy got about 10, 15 hours. And I'll just say it, that the hype around this game was loud. I mean, on the Body Snatchers page and on Twitter, everyone was talking about how fun it is. And I seen it externally because I didn't play the last games as another grind game, which Destiny has turned me off on it.
Yeah. So it is definitely a grind game, but it's a fun grind game. It's not shitty, for lack of better phrasing, like Destiny is with their grind. Like the RNG kind of pisses you off sometimes, but it's a lot more balanced, in my opinion, than any of Destiny's RNG.
Well, I like it, like a capture mission. We needed materials for a trap while we were hunting the motherfucker, and he chased him. I went to go get that lightning bug or thunder bug, whatever it is. I knew exactly where it was. I knew how much I needed. I got it. I came back, and it was painless. It was clean.
Did you guys like actually go into the little chest when you start the mission and pick up the easy traps that they leave in there for you?
Yeah, but we fucking wasted them. It's fucking hard.
Let me guess, you didn't hunt it down until it got the skull above its head on the map?
Yeah, we didn't know that. We still don't know that. But,
well, there you go. There's some info for you. It starts limping. It gets a skull. You can capture it really easy.
Well, here, I looked it up because I got frustrated and angry and all that nonsense. It's if you're a single player and you're hunting a monster or trying to capture it, the difficulty level is 1-on-1. But
yes.
if I invite, somebody, say if I invite you, that difficulty of that monster goes up 4 times.
Yes, it does. Because so what happens with the multiplayer when you bring other people in, it is better to bring a full squad in versus just one person. Because yes, the difficulty goes up 4 times, and that's supposed to compensate for 4 people being there hunting. That's why I always try to tell people, just in general, like playing with just 2 people is you're making it unnecessarily difficult for yourself. Like unless you guys are just really good, and if you're really good, then it doesn't matter anyway if it's up 4 times. But if you're a beginner, it's a lot better to, like, if you add people, to add multiple people, or as soon as that second person comes in, shoot off an SOS flare so that the other 2 slots get filled up.
I don't want to brag, so I'm not gonna, but this game is fucking hard.
Yeah. So this one is actually a lot easier than the other ones because in my opinion, from playing the other Monster Hunter games, this one was very new user friendly. The tutorials that kind of go into things explain things better than the old games. And with the introduction of the scout flies, now you're having a slightly easier time finding like tracks. Sometimes it's still difficult because they'll be like, oh, ? There's this track in the area. And then you have to like go search underneath all the grass and shit for it. But
right.
For the most part, like they made it a lot more user friendly than it used to be. And they left it just the right amount of hard so that you're not like just blasting through it and having like the easiest of times with the game.
Yeah, those scout flies, sometimes they get confusing because they'll disband and get together and go in a direction, and I don't know where they went, so I got to bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
But, I say this game's hard as fuck with 2 people, but whenever we do win, it's a big deal. It's like having sex for the first time.
Oh, God. I wouldn't go that far, but it is very satisfying, especially when you're. Have you gotten to the Elder Dragons yet? Wait, no, you said you only put 15 hours in, so you're probably mid game. What's your hunter rank?
I think we're only at 7.
Yeah, you've got a ways to go, my young Padawan.
Yeah, but I've been I've been reading articles and looking at videos, and
which is very good.
I haven't even tried all the weapons, but everything just looks awesome.
So I'm gonna tell you with the weapons, you don't have to try all of them. It would be good if you got familiar with them in general, because when you get to the point where you start doing the arena matches, when you're doing these arena matches, and I'm not talking about the special arenas that pop up in your optional quests, more towards end game, or even you don't even have to wait until end game because they have like 1-star, 2-star. I think it goes 3, 4, skips 5, goes straight to 6-star, and then 7, 8, 9, etc. But they give you a specific loadout that you have to use. Like, you don't go in using your own gear that you're currently wearing. So you pick a specific loadout, and it'll be different weapons. So in my 130 hours of playing, I pretty much just played dual blades and the great sword. And I went in there and none of those weapons were like the weapon choices that I was able to use. So I had to go outside my comfort zone. I used like a switch axe in the first arena battle. And then I used the lance and shield, which I realized I hate the lance and shield from using it in the arena. So it would be good just to get familiar with them. Even if you don't use them all the time, just familiarizing yourself.
Yeah, right now he's using the daggers, and I'm using the switch axe and the greatsword. Greatsword's cool, but like by the time I hit him, he's already behind me or he's already ran away. So I got to get better with that, with the timing. But that switch axe I love, because whenever it mounts the monster, it just drills into him with the blade.
I just really like the dual blades. It's completely my style of playing. The only thing that sucks with it is you can't block, but you do a lot of damage.
Yeah, probably because you're in the middle of like a 90-hit combo with those things.
Yeah, pretty much.
They fly.
Yep.
Like a ninja. So let's I told you about this. Let's talk about the squad situation that I have a pet peeve with. When you see commercials, you see articles, oh, Monster Hunter co-op, get your friends if you have any. Well, I boot up the game the same time Willie does, and I want to invite him to me. Just, like I assumed it was like a social space in Destiny where you invite him, he's there, you guys do the same thing, it's all groovy. It's not like that at all.
No, it is somewhat like that, but not quite. I'll kind of delve into that. So basically, in the old Monster Hunter games, you did not have an option of co-op. So everything was just frustratingly hard, and you're just getting super mad fighting these monsters. A handful of them are brought forward from the old Monster Hunter games. There are a few new ones. So for instance, like your Rathian, your Rathalos, those assholes, like you were just pulling hair out trying to fight these things by yourself. So for us that were old players of the franchise, to know that we could now play with other people, super excited us. It didn't matter what the stipulations are for it. The fact that I could invite someone in to help me beat the shit out of a Rathian when it does its little flip shit and poisons me just made me super happy. But the stipulation is, as you know, you have to complete cutscenes for story. And I feel like the reason that they do this is because they want you to do the main story bit yourself, like figure it out for yourself. And then you can bring people in to help beat the shit out of the wyverns and the dragons.
Man, I guess, but they don't say that. And it's frustrating if you're trying to run through with somebody. Like you said, I kind of see why, they want you to do the story, get the story, and then they have something called a SOS, which is when, all the story nonsense is over and you got to get this monster. You got to capture him or end his life. And when you hit that SOS, your party can come in. Even other players just searching to kill something can come in. And I think that's pretty cool because, I would put that SOS every time. I would get tryhards, but, sometimes, we get, players just starting off and they'll die twice. And then you fail the mission.
Yeah.
That's happened to us a couple times.
So I've gotten lucky to where if I do SOS, I get the 3 Japanese saviors that come and just destroy everything. So, or I even sometimes I get Korean saviors. So it's exciting for me. And I'm just like, kamsamnida, or arigato gozaimasu, senpai. So it's just great. I'm just like not even really trolling. I just get super excited. Because some of them, when you get further, you're going to want a squad, especially when you get to like the Elder Dragons. Like, yeah, it's super easy if you're fighting. So Nergigante, when you get to him, he's an asshole. I'm just going to let you know that right now, so you don't have any other thoughts about it. You're going to go right in knowing that he's a dick. And if you get good enough with your weapon, you won't need the help to go in. But sometimes this dude, like, he does these dive bomb attacks, and they get more frequent as he is closer to dying. And it one-hit KOs you, like, every time. Okay, well, if you're using weapon sets that allow you to block, or you have weapon sets that have guard on it, it doesn't one-hit KO you. But it'll stun you, you'll get knocked down, and then he just stun locks you anyway and just destroys you. Now, I got really good at Superman diving away from him to not die. But you get to the point in that where you just automatically, when you start the round or the freaking mission, you just automatically put up the SOS, and you cross your fingers, or you put up your 3 fingers with the may the odds be ever in your favor, and you just hope that you get the 3 really good Japanese players, or even like the 3 good American players, or just good players in general, so that they come and help you just destroy this thing.
Yeah, you know how there used to be loading screens when you used to do the missions, correct? I remember that. Like, if you went into, what do they call them, sectors, the 1 through 8 and levels.
Oh yeah, if you went and you merged over, you would definitely have loading, and that was something that was really awesome with this. Is it is truly open world for the stage that you're in.
It's impressive. It's huge.
The only loading scenes are when you're going between the stages.
It's gigantic. It's like the island in Grand Theft Auto. So I think that's cool, especially with my PS4. I need to get that Pro as soon as I can, because those loading screens are getting longer and longer.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Well, I'm not poor. I'm proud.
You're not one of the poor.
No, I was gonna get one, but I got the Switch instead. So,
Terrible.
Well, you're gonna get a Switch now too, aren't you?
Well, I'm only getting. We talked about this. I'll be getting one with Pokemon RPG drops. That's when I'm getting my Switch.
Yes, your Digimon or Pokemon, whatever you were talking about. But you've seen Smash Brothers, correct?
Pokemon. I have. I did see that, and I saw that they were like including the Splatoon creatures.
Yeah. My daughter asked me for that game, so I guess I'll get it.
Oh man, you're about to whoop up on her.
And I will too. So, so anyways, the Palicos in here, the kitty cats.
Yeah.
I do like them, and I like how you can customize them just like you can yourself. Get them gear, armor, and all that. Great support character, like a Donald Duck in Kingdom Hearts.
So what have you? Well, a lot better than. Well, okay, let me take that back. About half better.
I was about to say
sometimes
they'll try and heal me, but they can't get to me, and I can't get to them, and they'll make little effort to come to me, and I'll get wrecked. But that doesn't happen as much.
Or I like when you call them, they're like, "I'm busy, Meowster," and then like you use a Mega Potion, and the next thing you know, here they come riding their Vigor Wasp. I think I shared a meme like the first time that happened with that white cat making the "Are you fucking serious?" face, and it's like when your Palico brings you a Vigor Wasp after you've already used, Mega Potion. I'm just like, yeah, this is my life.
Yeah, that happens something.
So what have you in your research found out that you can do with the Palicos?
Well, I know you can find some in the field. I found one, and then he was running around with me.
Well, Grimalkins, they're related to the Palicos, yes.
They all look like cats.
Do you know the significance of those?
I do not. Enlighten.
So when you find them out in the field, each section has a specific tribe of Grimalkins, which is what the feral Palicos basically are. And if you complete little side quest things to befriend them, you get different perks. So, of course, your Palico starts off with being able to heal you, right? So you get the Vigor Wasp, you get the Vigor Wasp station. You then get to be friends with the ones called Bug Trappers, and they are in the Ancient Forest. And when you do what you need to do with chasing it down and finding it, you get a quest, you finish the quest. Now your Palico gets a upgrade. So you know kind of how like you get tools to use throughout the game? Like you get different mantles, you get health boosters that you can set down. I think at this point you should have the Ghillie Mantle, right?
Right.
So the Palicos get tools like that too, which they pick up from the Grimalkins out in the field. The first ones that you run into, they give your Palico the ability to use traps. So now your Palicos are being able to set down vine traps, thunderbug traps, flash traps. The next ones you find out in the wastelands, I think it's the wastelands, Wildspires, I'm sorry, are like the defender Grimalkins. And I can't remember exactly their tribe name, but essentially they give your Palico this big ass shield, and your Palico can now it can taunt creatures to come towards it instead of you. And then the third one you can find when you finally get to the Vale, which I can't wait for you to get to. Actually, I think I'm going to make sure I play with you when you get to the Vale, because the creatures there are just awesome. Those ones give you something called a Plunder Blade, which it will use against creatures that you're fighting, and it will make it drop items a lot easier. So you know how when you're fighting an Anjanath and you hit certain spots and you can break off pieces of it and pick them up? Well, this Palico Blade that it can use does exactly the same thing. And then when you get further, there's these, I can't remember the names, Grijalka? I can't remember. They're little asshole mask-wearing cats. You can make friends with them, but the majority of them still just kind of attack you. So that's the purpose of you seeing them out in the field. You're supposed to chase them down, complete the quests that they offer, and then they become friends with you. They also teach your cat how to ride some of the local wildlife. So in the Ancient Forest, now it can ride around those little Jagras, and it'll sit on top of it and literally ride it like it's jousting. And it's just freaking cute.
That's cool. Capcom's doing really good with this game, and it's doing really good by the people too, because it promises free downloadable content download route.
Yep. With Deviljho.
Yeah.
which a lot of us old-timey players have been waiting, because somebody they took some of the coding and they found that there's coding for some of the older monsters and some of the older elder dragons. So we've just kind of been waiting for it. And when they said that they were dropping that content for free, the first one at least, I don't know if all the rest are going to be free drops. I assume not. But I'm super excited for this. I can't wait.
And right,
it's going to be hard as fuck, but I can't wait.
So just tell me really quick, how do I capture monsters? Because I got the traps, I got the tranks. And when I use them together, it's it makes them more powerful and he leaves.
So you know how on your map you can track the monster, you can see where it's going along the map. It'll even put X's to the next area that the monster's going to run to if it's leaving a certain spot.
Right, and that happens when you get its footprints, you get it experience.
Yes, and you actually start tracking it, or you see it right in front of you, and then it'll automatically go, you've found this creature, now you're tracking it. So you can see it on the map. So when you start fighting it, or even before you start fighting it, it will have different levels of alertness above it, is what I like to call it. You'll start off with a white U shape above it. When it notices you and it's being cautious towards you, it'll have a yellow one. And then once it has noticed you or you have started attacking it, it will turn red. And that is when you're fighting it, right? You need to pay attention to the monster, because as you're beating on it, eventually it will start limping. Just because it starts limping initially doesn't mean that it's ready to be captured. You have to make, as you keep playing, let me rephrase that. As you keep playing, you'll notice that, it limps a little bit, then it limps a little bit more, and then it's limping really bad. It's not moving nearly as fast as it was. But then also on the little map that you have, a skull will appear over its head and it'll start blinking. If you follow it when it runs away like that, it will go back to its nest and go to sleep. Or you can run right in its path and just drop a trap in front of it. And the second that it gets caught in that trap, you just hit it with 2 tranks and you capture it. It's done.
Nice. Is there any way to make my dude faster, or is that just the pace?
It's just the pace.
Because you were
some weapons that you use, you'll be slower. I notice for sure that when I'm using the greatsword, I'm slower than when I'm using the dual blades. And it's not even a huge difference in your speed, but it is what it is. But when they start limping dramatically, you can get in front of them easier. And actually, let me take it back. You know that if you press in the left stick, because we play on PlayStation, if you press in the left stick, it'll let you sprint a bit, right? Use up your stamina, right? So you just sprint ahead of it, or you can just run normal ahead of it. When it's limping really bad, you'll be able to tell the difference. You could probably walk faster than it.
Right. So people that haven't played this game, they think it's just you killing monsters or capturing them. But let's talk about the behavior of these monsters. When you're chasing one and you're hunting it down and you're all over and it's limping, and then another monster will come out and can fuck that mission up.
Oh, that isn't even by the time it's limping. Like, these things have turf wars all the time.
Well, for us, it seems to come out whenever we're about to finish it off. And it either attacks us, or if we got to capture it, it kills the other monster.
So what it is it's just determined on where the other monster is on the map, if that makes sense. Because I've had things pop up right before something's dead, and I've also had it pop up right at the beginning, and it just depends on where the monsters are roaming around at the time. However, I will caveat that with when you get towards the end and there's this, we call him Beetlejuice because he just pops up out of nowhere as if you've said Beetlejuice 3 damn times. But the creature's name is Basil Goose and Juice, or however you want to say it. But basically, he flies through, and you will be going through some of the smallest corridors that there's no way that this big-ass dragon can fit his fat fucking head in. I'm just so angry. I'm sorry. That's why I'm swearing so much about this dude. But he will literally chase you down when you're fighting things, and he will go after the things too, and just like we call it carpet bombing, because he has these little bomb attachments on the bottom side of him, and he'll just fly right over, and you'll hear, because the music changes when he comes, and then he'll just like shake himself over it and just drop bombs on everything. That's the only one that, like, I've noticed will literally come right as you're killing something just to be an asshole. But everything else, it really just depends on where they are on the map when you get to that point. And even if they were to jump in as you're trying to kill it and capture it, if you hurry up and drop a trap at the foot of the creature that you're hunting and you drop the tranks, it'll immediately cancel out whatever damage that thing's doing to it. I've learned that just from doing it myself. Because I had, like, an Anjanath go after a Toby Kadachi that I was trying to capture, and I immediately dropped a pitfall trap. And then the second that it dropped into it, I tranked him, and then the Anjanath couldn't kill him.
Fuck. That's good to know.
Yeah. So you can still trap them and trank them if they're being attacked by other monsters. You can even trap the other monster. It won't, like, do anything except slow him down, but it'll give you a chance to do it without having to worry about being trampled.
And these monsters, when they attack each other, it's not just them swacking at each other. Some will grab them, pick them up and slam them, or you'll have this big snake serpent looking cocksucker, and he'll wrap around them and choke them and bite them.
Yeah.
Visually, it's awesome, especially when we're sharpening our weapons.
Oh yeah, that's the best time to sharpen your weapons.
Speaking of weapons and gear, you got 130 hours. You said the gear that you're using, is it stronger than the gear that you were using at like 110 hours or 90 hours, or have you been capped out for a while?
Yes. So what I do when I play games is I farm things, and I like to get all the armor sets. So with me being 130 hours, I probably had farmed all of because you'll notice as you get further along in the game, you're going to go from the armor that you can use right now at your hunter rank 7, and it's going to open up to a like high tier version of it, and you go from low rank to high rank. And what I did, I would probably say the first half of the time that I played was spent on getting all low tier gear. And then, I mean, by that, I mean, I had like my freaking dual blades were as maxed out as I could get them, because I couldn't upgrade them more because I hadn't fought the Elder Dragons yet. So like the things that were missing were things like Elder Dragon Blood, or like bones of the Nergigante and bones of the Teostra. So it was just that like I had maxed it out at that point. But as you go along and you get your high rank gear, you'll start unlocking stuff that's much better. And I'm at the point now where I customize my stuff to suit me specifically. So I have every one of my pieces are from different sets, and they all just give me specific stat boosts that I need. Right. So like I have right now my attack boost is maxed out.
You mix and match them, right?
Yes. So like I have all my different pieces give me like plus up on attack boosts, for instance, or like there's this one stat boost that's it gives you a better chance at critting things. So it's just a matter of looking at the gear that you have, and even at a low level, you can max out on certain stats that will make it better for you. But until you hit the high rank gear, like you're just gonna kind of have some low stuff going on, and it's gonna suck. But
in the beginning, it's hard to pinpoint. Like if you want a great sword with flame aspect on it, it's kind of hard to get that. You kind of get what you can get right there because all the materials are question marks until you pick them up.
Yep.
So if you want that flame aspect, you actually don't know what you can get, but you already unlocked the water aspect. So you're going to have a water.
That's true. But what you want to start doing is you want to start hunting and like killing all the creatures around you and then carving them, because you get different pieces that you didn't know were pieces for armor or like weapons that you would need.
Right. And it's random what you can get out of a carcass, correct? It's not always going to be the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not always going to be the same thing.
That's cool. That's a fun kind of grind.
Yeah. Especially because you can pick up these things called investigations. And I don't know if you've been looking at your investigations. Do you even know how to pull them up?
I do not. Are those the bounties from those three motherfuckers?
They are co-located with the bounties. So if you go and you talk to the resource folks and you can pick what bounties you want to do, if you go over all the way to the right, it says investigations. And investigations, what they are is when you've picked up enough tracks or killed enough like small creatures, small monsters, you'll start to get these investigations for them, where it'll be like a slaying investigation, a hunting investigation, a capture investigation. Obviously, the hunting and the captures are going to be for your bigger, like your wyverns, and your slaying are going to be for your little creatures like the Vespoids or the Kelbies when you get to the Coral Highlands, or I think it's called the Coral. Anyway, the Coral Reef Place. I just call it the Coral Reef Place. I'm terrible with names. Yeah, it's bad. Like, I literally call the Wildspire the Wastelands all the time because I'm used to games just having wastelands and it looking just like that. But
you usually don't like everything about a game. What don't you like about this? Pet peeve or something? Because you're hyped about this game.
I really like it. Honestly, I haven't really found anything that agitates me a lot at this point. I do kind of get tired of the grind sometimes, especially if I get tired and I'm trying to do something and I die like 20 times in a row. I usually just turn it off and don't look at the game again for like 2 or 3 days. But if I would have any complaints, I would say the same complaint about the co-op system as you, just primarily because sometimes I don't want to have to restart the mission and start it back over or jump into someone else's if I am playing with someone. But I'm just super stoked at the fact that we can play with other people, that it doesn't irk me as much as it bothers you. You being a brand new person to the franchise, you were expecting a true co-op. Those of us that aren't new to it, we're just happy for any kind of multiplayer. And it's only story missions that you have that issue. Everything else, if you do optional quests or you do the event quests, you don't have to worry about watching cutscenes. People can just jump right in with you.
And the thing with that is, it's like we booted it up, and we did all the tutorial stuff at the beginning. And when we got to town, we tried to like, all right, let's link up, let's go. And there was no direction. They just said it wasn't possible with no instruction to it. So we're like, all right, we got to figure this out.
Yeah, you just post quest, join quest.
Yeah, but then it's like, all right, you can't join quest because you're not far enough in the story. We're at the same point of the story. So what do we do now? It's a little bit frustrating, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not even a big deal. It's just like, what the fuck? Don't do that. Be cool. But what I do like about the co-op is if I do all the cutscenes and then I can invite somebody, say I invite you, and then we kill Captain Cocksucker, it counts for both of us, not just me because I started the mission. Yep. So I appreciate that.
Yep, it does.
Because not every game does that. So
the only thing that sucks with it is if you take too long to get to the point, like get through the cutscenes, then sometimes people won't get as much in the way of rewards. I don't know if you've noticed that or gotten to that point yet. So that's why a lot of times I just restart the mission after I've seen the cutscene and invite people to play, because something that they do with it is if someone shoots up an SOS or you join a quest after it's already started and, like, for instance, 10 minutes has elapsed, then you're not getting quite as many rewards as you would have if you started it at 4 minutes even. And if it passes like the 20-minute mark or like over the halfway mark, then you're not getting anything. You just get like completion of the mission. You don't get any of the rewards with it. At least in my experience of like jumping in with other people. And that's especially true for like, if you've already beat a mission and you go back because someone posted it and you join theirs to help them with it. If you join too late, you're getting nothing.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about is the auto crafting. I'm digging that, to where you get materials, and if you have the materials, no menus, no nothing, no buttons. It just puts it together for you in real time.
Yep.
And I think that's pretty cool, especially especially when I'm getting potions. It gets the material. All right, now you got 2 mega potions.
I enjoy it a lot. So what I do normally is I will stock up on all the potions that I can, and I will always have regular potions in, so that when I pick up honey, it just automatically crafts it into what it needs to be. So I very much enjoy it. And the same thing with flash bugs. Like, I have it set to where if I pick up a flash bug and I don't have any flash pods, it just automatically turns into a flash pod.
So, this game, it's great to look at. It's fun. It's keeping everyone's interest for 50, 100, or in Gia's cases, probably close to 150 hours. I haven't heard anything bad except the co-op I've been bitching about this game, and that's pretty good. That's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I have heard complaints from some people, and I would venture to say, if any of you are listening to this and you feel it does not have a story, please pay attention more. Don't worry about skipping through the cutscenes or not paying attention to it. It actually has a really good story, and when you pay attention to it, like, when everything comes together, it doesn't blow your mind like Horizon did at the end, but it's still one of those things where it's like, holy shit, like, all of this was going on, and now we know about it and we know why it was happening.
So are you saying it doesn't have a pretty good presentation? Cool. Because when we used to play Destiny, you used to give us a lot of cool information about it. That would have been
No, okay, let's go back on that Destiny thing. You and I both know that for most of the information, you had to go online and read the grimoires for it, because they did not explain things. This game, they actually do explain a lot, but it's like you actually have to pay attention to the cutscenes when they happen. But I know for some people, the ADHD kicks in, or ADD kicks in, or, they want to go make a sandwich and they don't really pay attention. So I've literally heard people go, oh, there's no story behind it. But there actually is a story. Your story is this big elder dragon's going off to die. Do you mind spoilers? Because you said you've been reading.
No, I don't mind the spoilers.
All right, so you have this big elder dragon going off to die, and it's trying to release its energy somewhere, but it's going off to this one area that you think if it goes there and it explodes, it's going to, like, destroy the whole area. Then you have this other elder dragon that eats other elder dragons because he's just an asshole, and he's, like, antagonizing this thing that's trying to die and trying to, like, merge it over to another area. When you finally kill, and the one being an asshole is Nergigante, when you finally kill him, all the other elder dragons have been riled up, so you're having to hunt them, just to find out that there was a new baby elder dragon essentially being formed in this area. And that's why Nergigante was, like, forcing Zorah Magdaros there. That's why he was trying to get in there, because he was trying to eat the new dragon so that he could get its energy. So, like, there's a whole lot of story to it, and if you don't pay attention to it, you miss it.
Yeah, just like anything else, just get invested. It's not going to let you down. All right, people, if you liked what you heard, share and comment. Tell us how much you love Monster Hunter World. I'm always interested in hearing the gameplay time that people have in this game, and in all video games, really. So tell us how much time you got. Gia has 130. I have 15. I'm gonna up those numbers because those are rookie numbers. But
yeah, I'm gonna help you up those because you scrubbing it up, bro.
But it's guaranteed more than $60, and I think that's rare. So don't sleep on it. So for Steve, Gia, Tino, and John, tell someone you love them. Later.
Peace out.